Caution, beware of the overwhelming avalanche. Hi, I'm Angel, and this is Done Imperfectly, the place where we battle perfection one project at a time, getting things done imperfectly. So today we're going to talk about the cabinets that scare you to even open. You know, when you open, there's a chance of avalanche. I don't know how this happened. My old house, I had 2 sets of bottom cabinets like this, and now I probably have twice that amount, if not close to 3 times that amount. And when I first moved into the house, I thought I would never ever fill these cabinets. There's just too many and I just don't have enough stuff. I miss those days. The days where I could reach into my cabinet, pull out what I need and use it and put it back in without an exhausting game of Tetris and being cautious so the next person who opened the cabinet doesn't get hurt with things falling out. Yeah, it's that bad. So the way I'm going to conquer this overwhelming avalanche is before I even open up the cabinet, I'm going to write down what I think is in the cabinet. And so I'm going to list an item, the quantity of those items that I have in this cabinet. So for example, I think I have 4 casserole dishes in this cabinet. And then how often I use it. Do I use it once a month? Do I use it often? Do I use it seldom? Now, at the bottom of the piece of the paper, as a reminder, I'm writing down overlooked items. Ruthless. We need to be ruthless with these overlooked items. They're in the cabinet, we're not using them, and we don't even know they're there. Now, like last week, you'll find a few things that you're like, yeah, I really do need to keep it, and that's fine. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you whether you keep it or not. But take some time and think about those overlooked items that you have no idea what's in this cabinet. So let's get started. First, we're going to pull out the items we do know are in the cabinet. Remember, we're only spending 15 minutes. Do not get more out of your cabinet than you can handle in 15 minutes. And to help you with that, I recommend going back to your list. Look at a major category that you can pull out of the cabinet without pulling everything out at once. So in this case, I pulled out my classware and my appliances. Now, the 2 appliances, both the griddle and the warmer, is going back. Although on my list I have the warmer is used seldom, I do have family and we have large gatherings. So we're going to put that back first. Now Kaz on Clutterbug, she calls this shopping your stuff. You can't keep it all. So shop the stuff that you know you're going to use, which this list will help you with. You know you use these items. Now that I have the 2 appliances back in the cabinet, because I do use them and they take up a lot of space in the cabinet, remember our cabinet, just like last week, is our boundary. It is not your fault that you have to get rid of things. Your cabinet is the bad guy. It's the cabinet's fault, okay? The cabinet tells you what you can and cannot keep. Okay, so to move on, next we're going to go to the casserole dishes. Now, the casserole dishes, I have 2. And there are, because we do have a large family, there are times I'm using both casserole dishes. And then I have a set of 3 smaller casserole dishes. And I actually do use these. My husband grills out a lot. So it's real helpful for him to have smaller dishes where he can bring it in from the grill. He can dump it in these and bring them in from the grill. So all 5 of these casserole dishes will be kept. Now, these, for lack of better word, square casserole dishes, I don't use these. So I'm going to donate these. And I actually think one of them might be my mom's. I need to check with her and make sure that's accurate. So if I'm not going to use it, I need to make a decision. Do I donate? I've got a bag ready to go. Wrong bag. I've got a bag ready to go to donate. Now the reason why I'm not putting it in a plastic bin is once I make a decision to go into the donate bag, I don't want to rethink it. I don't want to touch it. It just needs to go out of the house. So I'm going to get a donate bag. There will be a few things that I just need time to think about. I don't think I need them. So I'm going to put this in a bag, and I've got the bag labeled with a Sharpie, where it says kitchen and donate. Now, the thing about this is it has a date, July 2021. So if I don't have to pull anything out of this bag by July 2021, off to the donation center it goes. The Minimal Mom calls this the quarantine bin. Nobody likes quarantine at this time. Nobody likes that word. This will go to the donation center if not used by July 21. It's also in a plastic bag, so I don't feel like I have to keep the container that it's in, and I can just donate it without even looking at it again. The decision was already made in January. Third, just the trash bag. This will go directly to the trash when I'm done. So it's handy to have all 3 of these ready to go as you're working through this so you can sort properly. And because this is all breakable and I need to wrap it, I'm just going to set this on top of the donation bag for now, and we'll wrap it and put it inside later. Okay? Bowls. I may not have them long. I use these 2 bowls all the time. They were on my list. I knew that I had them. I think I had 4 mixing bowls. I really don't, only have 2. So I'm going to set those aside. Those are going back inside the cabinet. These. I'm not sure if I need these. I bought these for a thing that works, so we can use it as serving bowls for a little activity at work. I've not used them since, except for work, and we're all remote work now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to need these. So I'm going to put it in the bag that has the expiration date, and if we don't pull them out by July 2021, they're going to the donation center. Now these 2, I guess you call this a pie bowl? I don't know. I don't make pies. I have no idea. So because I'm not using it, this really was an overlooked item. I didn't even know I had a pie bowl. So that's going. And this bowl right here, it's just an awkward size and I never use it, but somebody else is going to love it. So I'm just going to donate those 2. Okay, cutting board. This thing is heavy for me. I don't use it. I don't know how some people feel about this. I'm not real sure what people are going to say about this. But this cutting board is wood and it's not treated. I mean, it's like flaking off. And I'm afraid like if I cut chicken or meat on it, it's going to hold in potential salmonella. And I'm not usually that concerned in general about stuff like that. But I have 2 other cutting boards. I had a very large one and a very small one, and this one is pretty close to the small size, and I just don't use it. So I'm going to donate it. Okay, and finally, I have a baking pan that I didn't know I had. I have several in other locations. Not sure why it was even in this cabinet, except for somebody not used to put in my dishes may have stuck it in there. I have no idea. And I've got other scents. This is starting to get kind of on the icky side. So I'm just going to trash this because I wouldn't even want to donate the ickiness to someone else. Okay? So I'm going to take a minute and put these items back into my cabinet, and then we'll pull out the next set of things to go through. Now that the glassware is dealt with, I thought I would grab the next item on my list and pull it from my cabinet, and that would be these little plastic storage bins. I think we know the culprit in everyone's house, and these are it. So, Minimal Mom mentions that if you're going to store it with its lid on it. And that way you know that you have a storage item that you can use readily available and it's ready to go for you. It also limits the amount that you can store. Honestly, what am I going to do with all of this storage bins? Now, another thing to consider is if you don't have a lid, what good is the storage bin going to do you? So I can see some pros and cons of using maybe a larger bin where you could just go in your house and use it for a clear organization thing. But generally, small storage bins. This was used when I went to work, when I wasn't doing remote work, before I was doing remote work. This was used at work. I would take small things I could make part of my lunch. That season of my life appears to be over, and I don't need to keep 7 of these for every day of the week, or 5. 5 of these for every day of the week. So a lot of this is going to be purged. But I do like the idea of I'm not going to save it as a food storage item in my boundary unless I can find a lid. It just doesn't make sense. So I'll put it in the bag where I just need to think about it. I just need to quarantine it for a little bit and go from there. So I'm going to take a few minutes and match up all these lids, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all of my lids matched up, and I have all of this that has no mate. There's no sense in keeping it. The whole intention is storage bins. So I'm going to put this in the trash. It just needs to go. Nothing is of value. They are disposable containers, probably from when people came over to the house and had dinners and lunches, and they left their disposable thinking I would just throw it away. So I'm just going to get rid of it. This is a bowl that I actually do use. It's cracked. I love it. I've had it since I was married, but I keep it so I can put bread in it and nothing that will leak through the bottom. However, I am going to make a note. It's time to replace this because this is a good size, lightweight mixing bowl. So I'm going to make a note to replace this, but for now, I'm keeping it. And this is all of the matched items. Now, not all of this is going to fit in this cabinet. It's just not possible. So I'm going to have to filter down the matched items. I can't keep it all. Remember, I'm going to shop my stuff. This I'm going to keep because I have another idea and I plan on using this with spices, and I just stuck it down there until I could get done with what I was going to do with it. So I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to put it in another cabinet that will make sense when I go to use my spices. Okay, so now I have to make the decision on what I'm going to keep and what I'm not. I kind of like this idea. This is from Pampered Chef. I am not a Pampered Chef consultant or a Tupperware consultant, but I do know both. And so I like this idea from Pampered Chef where the bowl collapses and it has a lid. This one is definitely a keeper. It is so convenient, and I don't know why I don't use it. One, because my cabinet was such a mess I didn't even know it was in there. Then I have my Tupperware bowl. Obviously I love this bowl because it's always together and has a little knife that goes with it. I'll get that in a minute. A little knife that goes with it so I can use it for salads and stuff. I'm not working anymore. But I can see multiple uses for this, so I'm going to keep these two. This is another Tupperware bowl that has a venting for like microwave. I'm thinking that's a good idea. This is a little Tupperware box. I just don't know. I don't know if I'll ever use it. So it's going to go in the expiration date donation bin that if I don't use it before July, then I will just let it go. And here is another Tupperware bowl. So I've got 3 very nice storage containers. Now, I have the situation quite often where I need to store food in the refrigerator and just need something light and just toss it in the refrigerator for leftovers. So we're going to keep that. And I hate to, because this is quite a bit, but I think I'm going to let these small containers go, as well as this small container. I'm just not using this. I'm remote work now, so I'm not using this stuff anymore, so I think it's time to go. Now, I can see me using this for another room of storage item, but I really don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So I'm going to put all of these in the think about / quarantine bag. And if I find that, hey, I do need that and it's in the garage with the quarantine bag, I can just grab it. But I have to sacrifice some of this stuff to make room in my cabinet. So I'm afraid I like these better than these, so these have to go. Okay, the next thing I pulled out of my cabinet is everything that was not on my list. These are the items that were in the cabinet that I had no clue were in there. So let's go through this. Now remember, on overlooked items, we don't know they're there. So why keep them? Some things you're going to have to keep, but the vast majority, I highly recommend that you be ruthless. Get this stuff out of your life. You can't get in and out of your cabinet because there's so much. And if you're not using it, save this space for the items that you love and use. Okay, so let's get started, kind of how I filter through this kind of stuff. And first thing I see is cups. Please tell me all of you have the same issue with cups in your house as we do in ours. There are 6 people, and every time we go to an event or something, there's always a cup. So there's cups everywhere. Now, most of these cups could have a sentimental attachment for other people in the home, but keep in mind, I do not declutter other people's stuff. It's up to them to get rid of it, and there are reasons for that. My husband went without pants for a while because I decluttered his stuff too aggressively. So I'm not decluttering their stuff, but there are several cups here that I'm going to put out on the counter, and they need to decide if they're going to keep it. If so, they need to find a place that they can store it where they can treasure it. But it doesn't need to be in my kitchen cabinet. It's taking up too much space. Just for an example, thank goodness these have handles. Now some of these items are things that can be reused at the amusement park for a cheaper price. So I understand keeping one of those, but for the most part, these need to get out of my kitchen. And as you can see, this is a lot of volume of my kitchen cabinet. So I'm going to set these aside and let everybody go through it. If they don't claim it, it's going in the garbage. Or this is fairly nice, the donation. So I'm going to set these aside. The next item, oh, the lids too, the lids that go with them, they need to go as well. Okay, and I see that there are a lot of things that have fallen through the silverware drawer. Our silverware drawer is so full that these have fallen through. We haven't missed them, except for my metal spoons. I have wondered where my metal spoons are because we use that for cereal. But the rest, I didn't even know were missing. And that cabinet's already so full, I'm not going to put all of this back in that cabinet because it's falling to the cabinet below. So I'm going to keep my 2 metal spoons, and I'm just going to trash all of these plastic ones. Okay, next, a measuring cup. I would have so loved to have this handy when my mom was over making cookies with the kids. This is not the cabinet for the measuring cup. There is another cabinet, so I'm going to set that aside. It goes in a cabinet below. Okay, we'll do this one. This is a Christmas little scene, I assume for cheese. I don't use this. Someone will appreciate it. I'm just going to donate it. I don't put cheese out with the little, I just use paper plate and a butter knife. So this isn't me. So I'm going to give it to someone who's going to thoroughly enjoy it, because there is someone going to love these cute little snowmen. Okay, I found a platter plate. I haven't used it. I'm struggling with this one. I haven't used it, but there is the day on the occasional grill day when we need a little bit bigger plate than the normal dinner plate. So I'm going to stick this underneath the dinner plates in my dinner plate cabinet, and we'll make a decision on this a little bit later on whether I use it or not. Okay, we're getting down to the end. Okay, so manuals for the grill. I'm going to keep them, but the kitchen cabinet is not the proper place for this. I understand it's the cabinet closest to the grill outside, but he's not going to reference this. It's going to be on a phone or such. But just in case there's a warranty information and stuff, I'm going to put this in here with the rest of our manuals, just our reference items. Okay, front pan. I'm not getting rid of this. I knew I had it. It didn't make my list. You know why? Because it's in the wrong cabinet. It really goes in the cabinet below here. So I'm going to set it right there, and that way I could just stick it in there when we're done. Okay. There is a cast iron muffin pan. I don't like cast iron, and I know a lot of people love cast iron, but I don't like cast iron. There's something about never cleaning it at the level that I like it. But I know a lot of people like the seasoned cast iron items. So I'm probably going to ask 2 or 3 people in my family if they like it or need it, and if they would use it. I'm not going to give it to them if they're not going to use it. But there are some people in my family that love cast iron, and this is not cheap stuff. It's heavy. So I'm going to ask, but if not, I'm going to donate it. So for now, I'm going to put it in the donation with an expiration. If I don't get rid of it by then, it just gets donated to someone else. Okay. This little bread, for bread, I don't know what they call them. This little bread thing, this is something I do use. It's in the wrong cabinet again. I think I had somebody over helping me put stuff up after a family dinner. It's in the wrong cabinet. I do not bake bread. I don't. I'm terrible. I don't make bread, but this is a great, great, great size to put your disposable silverware when you have large family gatherings. You could just set them in there and people can grab them as they walk by, and you don't have the silverware going everywhere on the cabinet or have to fight to get it out of that plastic bag holding the wrong end of the fork. You know what I mean. So for those of you that don't bake bread and you have a couple of these, I recommend storing your disposable silverware, your plastic silverware in here for bigger events if you have them. If not, get it out of your house. Okay, we'll put that where that cabinet is. Okay, last but not least. Oh, this, I have no idea what it is. I'm just going to trash it. Okay, this was a surprise. I knew it was in there, but I wasn't thinking. This is my husband's grill stuff, and I have an extra container that I had used for something else in there. I have found that these are not dishwasher safe, so I can't use it for what I thought it was, and its mate died in the dishwasher. So this was just stored until I could figure out what I could do with it. The grill stuff was a surprise. I knew they were in there. It's the cabinet closest to the grill. Makes complete sense that we leave that very, very accessible for my husband. But it was a whole bunch of stuff scattered all over the cabinet. So I'm just going to use this little bin here to store his grill items. Got to keep them all in one place, and it makes it easier for him just to grab and go. It's very handy. He could just take it out there, and when he's done, he could throw it all back in there and throw it back in the cabinet. This is still in the box. It is a grill thing for vegetables and such and skewers. So we haven't used it, but I'm going to check with my husband. Again, I'm not going to declutter anything my husband wants to keep. And this is just a little dome that they use on the griddle as well, or on the grill as well. So I know he uses this. So I'm going to combine all this in my cabinet so it's easily accessible for him. So I'm going to load this up. I'm going to let my family go through the cups that may or may not need to be kept. I'm going to put away these few items that belong in another drawer. And we'll be right back. That cabinet makes me so happy. So this is what I have that is being donated. I'm just ready to let go. All of this is ready to go. This is what I'm going to store away until July, except for the bowl that I just broke. I'm gonna have to pull that out and get rid of it. And trash. Lots and lots of plastic storage trash. Now, I thought it would be interesting to keep track of this. Normally I don't keep track of this, but I found this extremely eye-opening. Of all the items I had in that cabinet, I counted. There was 113 items. Only 24 went back in. Wow. Think about how much space and ease and less stress I'm going to have just because I could reach into the cabinet, grab what I want, use it, and put it back very easily. I am such a happy camper. And with that, I think we can consider this project done perfectly. You have a wonderful day.